Welcome back to another episode of the Football Pundits in our FPL edition. Had a pretty average game week 33. The -8 punt on Vardy did not really work out, but can't complain too much. Didn't see a massive rank slide, about 1,000 down from 5,100 to about 6,200. Kind of expected that when I knew that if the punt doesn't work out, the minus will eventually get me, and that's what happened. Can live with that. Lingard blank. Those of all the non-Lingard owners, there was some reprieve over there. Salah got in a goal there. Liverpool could have had a lot more. Jota himself taken off before the 60th minute, so that would have hurt a lot of Jota owners. But on another day, he could have easily had 2 goals at least. So if you're thinking of taking him out, early thoughts, I would say possibly hold. Yes, they're playing United, could face rotation, but looking at the price variance and yes, Salah's ownership going up, 12.6 is what Salah is at now, or 12.7. I would still say keep Jota in. Could very well be a good price point to get into Liverpool's end of season fixtures. Anyway, we'll talk about the differentials and captain picks for this game week, plus possible coming double game weeks and a lot more. I'll start off with showing you my team currently as it is for game week 34 and what possible moves I'm considering depending on what fixtures could be changed or what teams could possibly bank in the coming weeks. Well, as you can see, I still have the Cresswell problem right there. He's been one of my worst moves of the season on the wild card. Um, got him in at what 5.8 or 5.9. He's jumped to 5.6 now. So has cost me no fitness update yet. The fitness updates will come in late or on Friday evening or later today evening in a couple of hours. That is. Apart from that, I have Salah, Bruno, Trent, and Jota. That were 4 players. Little worried about that. That's why I've kept Jota on my bench from now, assuming with rotation he may not start. Although Mane is in kind of a patchy form in his own, so could just see Mane sitting this one out. Um, Small doubts on Rudiger played 7 games in a row now within what 20 22 days. Chelsea fans don't seem too overtly concerned though because he seems to be a fix in this back line, and the top 4 push is equally important. Uh, but I'm a little worried there about him as well. Nothing on Mendy. I think Mendy should keep his place against Fulham. Don't see any rotation coming in there, hopefully. Apart from that, definitely Tottenham players are the one to look out for against Sheffield, would assume. Uh, well as Leicester players, again, not just because of the good run of fixtures that they have, but because Ings possibly doubtful for this one, even Bertrand, Che Adams kind of doubtful too, should play though. So there could be a chance where Southampton trying to hold on hard defensively, but you would see Leicester maybe getting a result in this one. Spurs supposed to. Sheffield United pretty much playing for pride. Could cost an upset though. Must wait on Ryan Mason's pressure as well. Kane should be fit. Did obviously start against City. Could have played through injury though because it was obviously the biggest game for them the last few seasons. So we'll keep an eye out on that one as well. But is expected to start. Rumors on on Lingard's injury didn't look too as well. Seems to have there's no indication on FPL about any injury. Seems to have trained as well. All right, so now I'll show you possible moves I could make for this game week, keeping in mind that we could have a double in 35, maybe a blank in 36 or a merger 36, 37 fixtures. A lot of possible permutation combinations, none guaranteed so far, no official announcement yet, so we'll have to wait on that one. Then I'll switch over to the transfer page. Well, as you can see, I have a free transfer and just zero point 0.1 in the bank. There are a couple of ways I could play this one. I could obviously wait for the Cresswell news closer to deadline and choose to stick with him or move him out. Um, Possibly look at getting in Harry Kane back in for Wadi. Yes, I do see Wadi doing well. 1 week move, maybe not worth it. Did not work out really. Should I give it time? I could. They have still a few good fixtures to go. So Leicester have Southampton and Newcastle. Definitely good fixtures, but I definitely want Kane back in my side. And if he's fit, I definitely want to play him against Sheffield. I do think Bale could start in this one as well. So I do see goals in this one. Sheffield might set up defensively solid again, but feel Spurs might just try to end the season strongly and make a push for top four. Right, that's pretty much all that they have left to play for now. Out of the, they didn't win the cup as well. Looking at that, in case I do that, like the only way I could see myself doing that is going from Cresswell to Struik and going to Harry Kane, Wadi to Kane. In terms of budget wise, so Cooper misses one more game out, so Struik to shot this one, and Kane is at 11.8, so Kane will easily come into that price point for me. So that's one way of looking at it. Definitely then have Kane, Son, Iheanacho, Fernandes, Salah, Jota, Trent, Rudiger, Weltman will start. I've covered there 4 players starting, right? Smith Rowe played the full 90 against in midweek against Villarreal in the game that they lost. Might not start with Aubameyang back, Pepe in there. Ceballos won't be playing the second leg. Could feature in this game as well. Smith Rowe could get a rest. He started as a punt for me on the wild card because just because of fitting in the budget. I had hoped that in the last 2 games he showed promise, could have had an assist and a goal himself. But definitely a player good to have right now, starting in with all the rotation of the Man City assets, right? So this is one of the things I could do. Get Kane back into my side. Struik might be a bit of a worry though, because once Cooper's back from the next week, he could be back to the bench. Showing you Leeds fixtures, Spurs 35. Tricky one there, could be a goal fest, could be a 1-1. Then Burnley, Southampton, West Brom. So good fixtures. The tough ones for which I took my Leeds assets out. A bit of a regret with Dallas. Maybe because not too much, because I would have benched him either way. Could have come off the bench for me for other players. Again, no certainty there, right? So what's gone is gone. I'm not going to really look at it too much. Could have worked out either way, these ones. So when the opportunity was there on the wild card, I definitely had to take them out. No regret there so far. Maybe consider getting in the likes of Bamford in instead. So the other way I could look at this is I could leave Vardy in my team. Downgrade Cresswell down if he's not starting anyway, because I've taken enough hits on him, bled out. The reason I still have him is because his fixtures are good. Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, Southampton, again, good end of season run. No reason to really take him out. But if he's not going to play another game, I need players who are going to start in case Rudiger doesn't play as well. Kilman's not starting either. Possibly Smith Rowe could be bench. I don't want to end up with 10 or 9 players again for no reason. So I could consider, look, the thing here is the Salah Jota double up makes sense. Doubling up on Liverpool assets at least makes sense. I have triple Liverpool asset here. I could maybe take it easy and be conservative and go for the move that I showed you guys, or I could just go down, maybe something like, this. Even though Lingard has a good record against Burnley, I don't have him. I think maybe I can do without him, but yeah. So essentially, that's something that I'm looking at, getting in maybe Lingard for Salah, going with Jota maybe on the bench if United are doing well, or start Jota out of maybe Smith Rowe and take out Callum Robinson, get in Harry Kane in there, and then I have 5.0 in the bank. I can look at maybe Coleman with Everton possibly facing a double. I'll come to double fixtures, the double game week, and the possible blank fixtures very soon. I have 5.0 in the bank, right? I do have other possible moves I can make. I can look at Leeds fixtures now and maybe going for Ayling or slightly better defender who I know will be starting more than one game. Leeds have a good run of fixtures. I could also maybe target Burnley defense. So Wolves had good run of fixtures, right? But it's West Brom, Brighton again, good runs. Shocking result against Burnley, if you have to be honest. You expect more of a 0-0, not a 4-0 over there. But I guess Chris Wood is in good form, so that really helped out over there. West Brom, Brighton, and then it's Tottenham, Everton, United. So Wolves' fixture run is also kind of ending. Maybe it will be a 2-week move. I'll don't know with the possible blank coming in 36 for some sides. I don't know if I want to have Wolves versus Spurs as the fixture and start my Wolves assets against Spurs, right? You could go in for Burnley. You have West Ham, Fulham, Leeds, Liverpool a tough one, but then Sheffield a decent run over there. You could also still look at West Ham, right? So you could look at the likes of Sufal. He's at 4.7. Again, like I said, good end of season run. Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, Southampton. Good end of season run there. These are the possible players you could look at if you want to get in a more solid squad over there. If you want to go out with Vardy and Kane. Now I'll tell you why this would be something I'll be considering. 36 could was none of this is confirmed again. This is what I'm reading in the FPL Twitter and community. Because of the FA Cup final, it's very likely that 36 will be adjusted a bit. In that case, Chelsea and Leicester are the finalists. So Rudiger, Mendy, Vardy, Iheanacho won't be playing. That means the fixture could be moved to 35. They could double in 35. Although it's not really like a double because they blank immediately after, right? So you don't want to overload on your players either in 35 because you'll be taking a lot of hits to get them in and then take them back out, especially if they don't work out. For me, since I already have him in my team, it kind of makes sense to roll the dice and give it another week, especially because the game week 35 fixture is Newcastle, so it really does tempt me there. All the Newcastle are showing some good end of season form and fight, right? So they could double in 35. So what could potentially happen is they could end up playing Newcastle and United. A good and tough game there, but it could easily see no reason to take a minus and take them out before that, right? United also could double, by the way. That means it makes sense to keep Bruno around. There's a lot of doubts about Bruno Fernandes, right? About a lot of people taking him out. He's dropped to 11.5 as well. Ownership down a bit too. Liverpool, Villa, Leicester, Fulham, Wolves. Now, Villa, Leicester, and 35 could be the double that they could have. Again, you could say that there are tough fixtures, right? You don't see United getting in too many goals in there. But looking at the way they played against Roma, depending on how they play against Liverpool, you'd probably want to keep Bruno around now if you've not already taken him out. Worth considering there as well. Chelsea will double too, most likely. Chelsea could end up having City and Arsenal, though. Tough run of games. Again, Arsenal. Look, City and Chelsea both will have one eye on their second leg of the semi-final, right? So you could see some squad rotation coming into the second leg of the semi-final into the double fixtures, especially with the FA Cup final as well coming in the week after that, midweek. So tough things to consider, which is why I was thinking also if Rudiger doesn't start this week and the potential of rotation, and even though there's double game week, tough double game week, I could switch him out for maybe an Everton player, right? So Everton and Southampton, well, also the other teams who could most likely have doubles, but would not then blank in 36 because they would have fixtures in that as well. Since they also have extra fixtures they have to make up for, which were cancelled earlier because of COVID or the other sides getting COVID and they had to be readjusted, right? So there is some element of doubt here, which is putting casting a shadow on the possible transfers. So I think I might just end up looking at the first option I showed you guys in being safe, even though that it goes against my wish of playing Vardy through, because I don't know if minus both ways really works out. It'll be a tough call for it not to work out. Take a rank hit as well. I'm close to the top 10K exit. A lot of things to consider. Take the risk, big reward, or big risk and not panning out of the top 10K. Lots to consider for me. But essentially, this is what I would be looking at. One of the players I actually also wanted to consider here would be Seamus Coleman, right? Coleman, if he's fit, Everton have a good run of fixtures on their own. If I could just show that to you. If you don't have the money for Deeney, especially Villa, West Ham, Sheffield, Wolves, City, the tough one in 38, but you can easily manage that. And another fixture, you can see that TBC with Villa. That's the one they could have another double, which would come into 35. That's what Twitter, the FPL community is talking about on Twitter. So that could work out as well. He started the last two games, so there's hope over there. Good run of fixtures to keep clean sheets. Another player to look out. I would say your Villa assets are ones to consider in 35. If you already made a transfer to 34, don't worry about it. 35 with a few hits or potential player managers who have the free hit still left. I will be coming out with free hit options for you as well. So not really too much to worry about. Hold on. Don't necessarily have to take a double, take -4, -8 over there. You can hold on to the team you have consolidated this week and keep your transfers for next week or potentially 36, 37 in which you have no chips left, no free hit left, and you have to take those -4s with a few free transfers as well. So that's potentially what we're looking at. Captain options now. Definitely, you would say Kane, Son are the ones to go for. Harry Kane, especially. Son, not so much. If even Bale starts, I see Son too much on the left again. Kane taking a lot more shots, right? I would say Kane number one for sure. And Southampton, if you have the likes of Vardy, Iheanacho, Vardy could have gotten a goal himself last week, right? A little unlucky, really not to. I would say Vardy and Nacho are good shoutouts as well. I wouldn't necessarily choose one over the other. I think for me, unlike Kane and Son, where Kane comes out number one, I think Vardy and Nacho are equal for me. Statistically, I think Nacho has definitely a better XG, but looking at just the way he played and the runs he was making against, midweek, I do expect Vardy to maybe get on the score sheet. So I would say either one of those two, and Harry Kane are the solid captain picks for me. Differential captains, look, I would have spoken a lot about DCL as well, but we don't know, again, about the 35 fixture. They could have a double in 35. They are playing Villa this week. You have players like Watkins in there. Grealish not going to start for sure. Backline being a little shaky at Villa. But Martinez is solid, right? And Martinez could get you those points. If you have him, I would say obviously hold on to him, especially with a double coming in 35 maybe. Or 36, 37, however they rotate it around over there. So I'd hold on to Martinez. And that really puts a doubt about DCL potentially scoring and really doing anything. Blanked against Arsenal, who were looking good, but he could have gotten something there as well. So I'm a little wary about going in for DCL and captaining him, right? Otherwise, it would have been a good hit. People ask me about Pereira. Pereira, if you have him, sure, good workout. Not against Wolves again. Not really screaming out goals, but if you have him and you want a differential captain trying to make up the ranks, definitely, why not? Lingard would be a good shout out as well for me. Lingard playing Burnley, likes play against Burnley. Blanked last week, would love to make up for it. Definitely want to keep an eye out for over there. Any other differential players to go out for this week in terms of ownership? Look, Pereira is at 5.7% ownership, so I think Pereira could be just about considered differential enough for me. Although his fixtures are turning, so definitely want to keep an eye out for, just for the sake of Leicester's fixtures. See, Wolves, Arsenal, Liverpool, West Ham, Leeds. So fixtures are turning, so I don't know if you want to maybe bring him in just for a week. You could also consider Allan Saint-Maximin. I just pull up Newcastle's fixtures here. It's Arsenal looking shaky on their own. David Luiz should be back for this one. Aubameyang should be back. So there is more hope with Arsenal, but they just look so shaky, right? Saint-Maximin has been very good. I know I'll pull up Allan Saint-Maximin, so it's easier to see his returns over here. Give me a second. Right, so he's at 5.1, obviously a good price point. Blanked against Liverpool, obviously, but could have had something over there. West Ham and Burnley got returns against them. There is some promise, but like I said, again, the fixtures do turn. Leicester, Man City, but then Sheffield, Fulham. These are the only players you could consider if you want to make room for getting in, potentially making room for going in for Raheem Sterling. For example, instead of going for the likes of Lingard, like I've gone, if you have money in the bank, if you have Jota, you have Trent, and you want to not keep Salah maybe, and you want to try something else. Those are the differentials I would look at. So Raheem Sterling right now, if I look at him, 11.1, ownership under 5%, not playing in the Champions League, Palace, Chelsea, Newcastle. At least for 1 week against Palace, it could be worth the punt. They could seal the title this weekend the way it's going. Should start. Another player you could look at in the striking department, if you have Harry Kane already, don't want to go for Vardy, not sure about Watkins, Bamford even, although Bamford would and should be a good pick to leave on your side. Look at Gabriel Jesus as well, right? Good differentials to look at for me this week. We looked at the likes of Cavani last week as well, but just potentially playing, midweek. Potentially playing midweek, could be rotated, could be rested. Under 5% himself. Fixtures, obviously, Liverpool this week, but Villa, Leicester, Fulham, Wolves after that. Greenwood, we spoke about too at 7.1 in the midfield. Going in, if you want to keep Salah, don't want Jota, worried about his rotation. 7 to 7.1, not much of a gap, should be okay there as well. If you already have the likes of Lingard. But yeah, those are potential differentials you could look at this week and looking at the fixtures next week as well. Keep an eye out for, like I said, the Everton assets, how DCL does this week. Good eye to keep out for the potential double coming up for them. Players coming back from injury, the team looking stronger. Definitely ones to keep an eye out for me. Grealish also could be available for 35. He will be possibly training all of next week before the Game Week 35 fixture, right before possible doubles. Will he be risked for two double fixtures if they're there after just coming back? We don't know. But definitely increases the appeal of the likes of Traore or Watkins in case he does feature in at least one of those games, right? Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We'll keep you updated with more of the news as we get it from the manager press conferences, potential injuries, any other last-minute punts that we think of that we missed out over here. Sometimes tends to happen, right? So much to talk about. Don't forget to hit subscribe on this channel. We could definitely use subscribers. Had a full season of FPL going in now. We'll definitely be doing this till the season ends at least. Hit us up on social media if you have questions, and you can follow us on those channels as well. And best of luck for this week. I hope it's a good one for everybody involved. Cheers.